So it's a really interesting situation in terms of weather for the front pack and the fleet at the moment. We can see here we've got the satellite images, and it's really clear to see that there's this big cold front which is splitting the front two boats in the fleet. We've got Apivia right at the front over here, and you've got Linked Out just here as well. And we can see that they're right in the middle of this very active cloud area. And we'll have a look at a little bit what that means for the wind in a moment. And then behind that, you have the second bunch of the fleet, sort of between third and 10th place, who are just behind this very active area. So really interesting to see this split in only a few hundred miles. So what we basically have at the moment, this is the wind at 10 a.m. in the GFS model. Here we have Boris's position on Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco, and you can see what's causing that very large cloud patch, and that's this cold front here. And what we've got along it is we've got this low pressure which has very recently formed in the last 24 hours along this cold front, and basically Apivia and Linked Out will be just in front of the cold front, so they'll have this northwesterly wind blowing very strong here. It's 45 knots, and Boris, he's now in the southwesterly winds over here, sailing on starboard jibe. So what we'll see in the next few hours, in the next couple of days, is this low pressure that's developed is going to move down the cold front, and as it does so, we can see it's a really defined cold front, and as it does so, it's going to intensify. At the moment, it's a 996 HPA pressure, and if we skip forward to 24 hours, we'll see how that low pressure has moved all the way down here, and now it's at 967, so it's massively intensified. And so in the next 24 hours, Apivia and Linked Out are going to get dropped off the back of the front, which is associated with this low, which is over here, and hopefully not get too close to this wind here. Here we can see that there's in the region of 55 to 60 knots, so it's really not a place you want to be. But for Boris, further back here, after he sailed along here like this on starboard jibe, we can see that there's another small system which is developing behind this low pressure. You can see that there's a small sort of frontal event going on here, and what's going to happen is the wind is going to shift slightly more towards the northwest, and which will allow him at this point, 10 a.m. tomorrow, to jibe up to the north and to make some good east while the wind is slightly more to the north on port jibe. So he'll end up start sailing like this and hopefully get away from the worst of the quite strong wind here that's behind, sort of 35-40 knots behind. And as that system, this new system is going to move in as this one moves out the way. And what you'll end up with is this new system is over here, and Boris will just be dropped off the back of the front, which is associated with it, and the wind will shift back to the west-southwest, and allowing Boris to jibe back onto starboard and head over in this direction. So it's a really active situation at the moment in the Southern Ocean for the fleet. They've got a lot of systems coming on, and every single day it's changing with very extreme and tough conditions and very high sea state. So if you have a look at what that means for the routing, so in 24 hours Boris will be here and he'll make his first jibe in front of that new system that's moving in. And then once that front has passed over the top of it, the wind will ease off, and at this point he can jibe and sail in the nice southwesterly winds again, and hopefully he'll have a bit of a calmer situation as it'll be high pressure dominated after this. So let's see how he gets on.